everyone, I'm back with another quick tutorial using Victory gems and beads. A while back they sent me a box full of gems, and if you've been watching my channel for a while now, you've seen the video, or otherwise I will be linking that video up here so that you guys can go and check it out if you want to see the items I received. But every week last week I was unable to do it, but other than that, every week I've been uploading a little tutorial using one of the gems from their boxes. So if you want to see what I came up with for this week's, then keep on watching. So to start off with, first I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using. I got this new mat. What do you guys think? I think it's really nice because it has little, spaces to put the beads and then your bead work here. So I got this mat from Diddy Beads. So to start off with, we're going to be using from that box some of their crystal quartz, and that one is in yellow and brown. So you're going to see here the differences, yellow and brown. So I'm going to put those right here. And then we're going to be using this gorgeous tourmaline green rondelle, these faceted rondelles. So I love these. I've been excited to, been trying to get them incorporated into another tutorial. And then we're going to use some of the gold hematite from that big strand that we got, several strands. For findings, we're going to be using this 2-strand clasp. So this is how it goes together. And then we're going to use some beading wire that they sent me as well. So I'm going to use that up. And then I made, because I haven't bought any, but I made some little coil that we are going to use as a French wire. I'll show you later how to use a French wire. But how I made this French wire, it's basically to protect the wire, the beading wire. Like I said, I'll show you in a minute how it's used. But to make this French wire, I used my coiling gizmo, and I used the smallest, the teeny tiny one. It's the one that I used to create this with 28 gauge wire. And if you don't have a coiling gizmo, just take a piece of 18 gauge wire and you should be able to do it that way. Besides the French wire, we're also going to be using 4, and I always buy these in kind of in bulk. We're going to be using 4 of these crimp tubes. They are 2 millimeter. So 4 little crimp tubes. 4 crimp tubes that we will put over here. So there we go. And then for tools, we're going to use some crimping pliers. And we're going to use some flush cutters. And then, just to have handy, but I can't think of why we would use it, but just to have handy I always have my flat nose pliers and my round nose pliers. So, but you don't need to. I think this is all we're going to need for this project. So we're just going to make a double strand bracelet. I think it's going to look really pretty. So, and you're going to need a ruler, of course. Normally a bracelet length is about 7.5 inches. I have a very small wrist, but I am going to put this bracelet in my shop. So I am going to be to give myself room for, crimping and all that. I'm going to just take 2 pieces of 9 inches. And then if you have one, otherwise you can use, I don't know, like, I would think like a clip or something, but I love to use my bead stoppers. So to start off with, I'm going to start with this. I'm just going to put the bead stopper on this side here, little spring. And I wonder if you could use a clothespin. Not sure if it would be too bulky. Anyway, we're going to start off by adding our beads. And so I'm just going to start with gold, tourmaline, and then one of these. No, I'm sorry. And then I want to do another gold and this one is the yellow. Yep. A yellow crystal. And then we're going to do gold again, tourmaline, gold. So then we had a yellow. So you can barely tell, but make sure you're picking up different the brown and the yellow so that you have them interspaced. But this is what the pattern is going to look like. Oh, like that. So that's how we're going to keep stringing these up. All right, so I finished. Look at how pretty that looks with the crystal quartz. Turned out to be such a beautiful bracelet. What do you guys think? I think it's so pretty. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this apart. And it has a little magnet in there to keep it nice and secure. Okay, so one of the things I didn't factor in was the width of the French wire. So unfortunately, it's too wide. It's too big to fit through one of these little holes here. So if you have, you could try a wire guard if you want. I don't have any in gold at the moment. I only have silver. But you know, usually the wire is strong enough. So anyway, let's crimp this first. So what we're going to do is put our little crimp on here, pass it through one of the loops here, and then back through our crimp. Okay, my nails are too long. I'm gonna need my, here, this will make it easy. There we go. So I'm gonna pass it through the wire. As usual, make sure that your wires are not crossing. All right. The clasp, it has a magnet on it, and it my plier, it wants to stick to my plier, so I have to hold it. Sorry if my fingers are in the way. So now that I crimped it on that side, now I'm going to put it on the side, and I'm going to do it again so you guys can see, and then put it on its side like that and crimp again. And now I want to pass it through. I don't think it's going to fit through the stone, but I am going to pass it through this hematite just for a little insurance. I never like cutting it just right there, you know, right at the edge of the crimp. I just like leaving a little bit longer just in case. And now I'm just going to cut this little piece off. Now going to do this side, and we're going to add our crimp, and then the other side of the, just make sure that you are doing it opposite. So don't, let's see, that, just make sure that you're setting it right so it doesn't get there, that way. So you don't get them crossed, unless you want them crossed. Pass it through with my pliers, so I'm not fumbling around. There we go. Much easier with the tip of my pliers. So if you have long nails, there you go. I just showed you how. All right. And again, let's make sure that the wires are not crossing. And then here, make sure you don't tighten it all the way up to the crimp, that you leave a little space so that, first of all, so that this can play around. You know, you want it a little bit loose, and so that this, your wire, your bracelet can bend as well. Otherwise, it's just going to be really, it's going to be rigid. That's the word I was looking for. So now we're going to put it in our, all the way to the end to crimp. And squeeze. Now that we crimp that, now we put it on the side at the front, one of the little divots. Squeeze again. There. Keep thinking we should change the pattern. What do you guys think? So instead of putting one each each of these little clusters, how about we put one quartz, put two of these, and then one quartz, two of these, just to kind of switch it up a little bit. So let's try it that way and see how it looks. So now we're going to do a gold. Ooh. Gold. And then hematite. And then again, rondelle. And another one. So now we have 2 clusters, and now we put a quartz on the brown, one of the brown ones. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start doing 2 of the tourmaline, 3 of the hematite, and 1 quartz. All right, so let's keep doing that. Okay, so I'm done with the other side. So here's the other side. And also I think it turned out really pretty. What I didn't factor is that if we use an extra of these of the rondelles, the tourmaline, it's going to be longer than this one. So I just went with 2 of the hematite to even it out. Otherwise, it would be what do you call it? One would be way long, much longer than the other one, and it would look weird. Would not fit properly. So again, what we're going to do is crimp the sides. All right. So here, when doing double strands, this is where you're going to make sure your strands are even. So before you finish closing, make sure you stretch this out so that see, I had to pull a little bit tighter because I had gotten it too tight. Make sure that you know that they're both exactly the same. You're getting the exact same length like that. And otherwise you're going to have a crooked bracelet. I mean, you can always re-crimp it if you made the mistake of not checking, but it's less of a hassle. So see, they are exactly the same. So now it's going to look huge because I have really small wrists. But look at how pretty that looks. Really nice, because the wearing crystal quartz, it says that it helps you with balance and clarity and energy, good energy. And it's, they say that it's good for your health and spiritual well-being. And then that one mixed with the tourmaline. Tourmaline is a stone of reconciliation. I can barely say that word. And it fosters compassion and cool-headedness. And it radiates the energy that attracts money, healing, and friendship. And it's used for grounding purposes. So that tourmaline with the crystal quartz is just a perfect combination for well-being. And don't forget that with Victory gems and beads, that you always are going to get a full strand. It's 16 inches, I believe. I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's a 16-inch strand. As always, I'm going to have links to these products down in the description box. They do not have the findings, but you should be able to find the wire. Grab this type of clasp at any of your local hobby stores or beading store. And let's see, but the hematite and the tourmaline and the quartz should be available on the Victory Gems and Beads website. If you do click on the links, I do get a small monetary compensation, as I am a ambassador and affiliate. So thank you ahead of time for that if you do click on the links. But you have to check out all their stones. They're so beautiful, and the way they're cut. Honestly, I thought the quartz, when I received it, I thought it was kind of boring, but now mixed with a little bit of sparkle of the hematite and the healing property, the grounding properties of the tourmaline, it just makes for a beautiful bracelet, doesn't it? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below if you like this, if you liked this design. And also, don't forget to give, if you did like the design, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, as it helps my channel. And if you're new to my channel, I definitely recommend clicking that subscribe button and the bell that's right beside it, so you get notified the next time I upload a Victory Gems and Beads mini tutorial. As always, please stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.